Head-to-head matchups, outright finishing positions, players that can trip you up, Draftkings Darlings, and some outright winners, even 135 to 1 outright winner. Welcome, everyone, to the Cut Line, breaking down the John Deere Classic, an annual birdie fest. I'm your host, Andy Lang, and being joined, as always, by my fellow golf betting expert, Yann. We're going to break down. Let's just start with the course because I don't have any tales from the courtesy 10. I didn't have too many disaster shots for last week. So let's just go over this course here. It's TPC Deere Run. It's a par 71, call it 7250 yards. I was reading that you have to birdie 30% of the holes to be in contention at this one. So there's just not a lot of there's not a lot of penalty. The fairways are wide. The rough isn't that difficult. The par fives are reachable. There's short par fours. This is kind of one of those tournaments that could get really fun where it's like, oh, so-and-so's on 59 watch. So I don't know. What do you, I will also throw in this. This course is a few hours away from where I live. It is so hot and humid. Like it's miserable. Like you go out and go for a 15-minute walk and you're just drenched. So if this weather continues, it's actually going to be really hot and sweaty for them. So what do you make of this course?
Really straightforward one this week. Starting with off the tee, the fairways are very generous. They're very hittable, but I think you do have to hit them. I think the rough penalty is there enough that if you miss them, it becomes a very different golf course. So I'm leaning accuracy off the tee over distance this week. From there, approach play is straightforward. This is going to be wedge-heavy track. If you're playing from the fairway, you're going to have a lot of very scoreable looks. It's not a course that demands anything overly technical with long irons. It's just about repetition, precision, and giving yourself a chance. Around the green is where the most difficulty shows up. If you do miss these very gettable greens, it can get tricky. The bunkering is awkward. The rough around the green is thick enough to penalise you, and you can definitely leak shots there. That said, I don't think it's a big factor this week because the green in regulation percentage here is usually super, super high. On the greens themselves, it's about as friendly as it gets. They're flat, they're soft. There's nothing overly severe. Nobody should really be getting any sort of struggles on the green this week, but you've still got to make them. So overall, it's a very simple formula. Hit the fairways, hit the greens, avoid the rough, make putts. There's nothing more than that. You want accuracy off the tee, you want accuracy on approach with irons and wedges. Unless the wind picks up significantly, like you say, it's a very warm area right now. I don't think you're going to see much wind. This has all of the ingredients to just be a birdie fest. And from a betting standpoint, it's actually quite an interesting week. There looks to be a lot of value on the board, and I'm actually sort of looking forward to this one.
Yeah, there's going to be some odd names that you don't normally hear about because we're coming off of, two elevated events. So let's get into our one and done. Maybe we hear from some guys we haven't had. I had Cantlay last week. He was okay. I'm going to continue I'm just going to randomly pick guys that don't really check many of the boxes because I've been so bad to start the one and done. So I'm going to pick a guy that missed the cut here last year and finished 69th last week just to really try something different. I'm going to go with JT Poston. Does not need to be long off the tee here, just accurate and good putting. I think last week was a little bit of an outlier because before that he'd finished fourth and he has a win. He does have a win a few years ago at this tournament. So I expect I may be one of the only ones with Poston just because he missed the cut last year and was pretty terrible last week. So JT Poston's going to be my one and done. Who'd you land on?
Weird name number one. I'm going to take Doug Ghim. Accuracy off the tee is Gim's game. He's one of the straightest drivers in this field. Around here, he is going to avoid a lot of trouble and set up really decent approach shots just by playing his game. Approach is also a strength. Gim is a pretty elite iron player, a solid wedge player. I expect him to create birdie chances all week. His ball striking is too good not to. The only real concern is the putter. That's been the thing that's held him back throughout his entire career. But on these greens, I think we can have a positive week. If his irons and wedges are as good as I think they'll be, he won't need to make any hard putts anyway. He's got a solid record here. 4 top 40 finishes in 5 starts. So I think that's a really nice floor. But he is actually my most likely winner, and I've already backed him out right at 50 to 1, so I had to take him for one and done.
All right, Doug Gim. Yeah, and honestly, all these guys are just going to have some kind of hole in their game. It's just, this isn't going to be like last week where it's like, oh, the top 5 guys have no negative strokes gained across any.
Nope.
So you're going to have to pick your poison here this week. So, all right, let's take a look at total strokes gained. We're taking a look at last 6 months. Chris Gotterup is your number one, and Mr. Koivun. Jackson Koivun, only one official PGA Tour event, so take that with a grain of salt. So, Jacob Bridgman, does this around the green kind of concern you, but otherwhere else, a guy like Jacob Bridgman, he's good everywhere else. And if we're trying to figure out, hey, who are these guys? What are we willing to overlook in terms of a weakness? Because you go down the list, everyone's got a weakness. So, I guess what categories are you fine with being a little laxed on?
I'll just say none of those guys have made my card, which is quite stunning, actually. Accuracy off the tee is where I start, and then decent approach guys, and then you're just, like you say, you're just trying to avoid some massive red bars. So I've sort of landed on Emiliano Grino, Andrew Putnam, Cole, Smotherman, and Gim is sort of where I started looking.
I agree. Like, these are the weeks where you see upsets. These are the weeks where you see the long shots. These are the weeks where you really try and, try and pick a real long shot. So, yeah, we'll continue breaking these guys down. I will go to players that can trip you up. Last week I had Gotterup, Aubert. I'm not making enough money fading Ludwig Aubert right now on these courses that are not long. If these courses are all about, accuracy, and it takes away his distance advantage, he's being priced way too high. So we had Gotterup, Aubert, and Young. And this week, I'll start with Keith Mitchell. His putting is only plus 0.17 strokes gained the last 3 months. That's just not good enough at a course that requires birdies. No finishes inside the top 18 the last 3 years here, and he's priced as a top 4 guy. And listen, I get it. They got to have somebody priced number one and, inside the top 5. But Keith Mitchell just doesn't. This just is not a course that strikes me as fitting his game well. In the last 3 years, the results have showed that. So, not going to be betting on Keith Mitchell when you can't make the top 18 3 years in a row here. This is the same thing. Gotterup, I just don't think this course fits him. 27th, 43rd, and 30th the last 3 tournaments, and he has played here 21st and missed cut the last 2 years. Missed cut here at this place. This is just kind of similar to last week. His big advantage with the driving distance is probably not going to matter that much. It's kind of a big even thing. So shorter courses, guys like Gotterup, guys like Aubert, I'm probably going to be fading. So, here we go with Jordan Spieth, when his putting and short game just goes in and out. Last 30 days, his putting is minus 0.64. That is Corn Ferry level bad. That's one of the worst in the field. He's been really awful the last 3 tourneys with all finishes outside the top 50. Dare I say, Yann, there's an injury?
I believe it. Yeah.
That he has not been that bad this year, but it just hasn't been happening for him recently. So maybe this is a good get right spot. I mean, if you can't putt on these greens, then good luck. So. All right, we move on to top 10 or missed cut. I had Hovland as my top 10 or missed cut. He goes out.
That's amazing. That's incredible.
He's becoming the definition of top 10 or missed cut. Like this guy, he could win or he could, be packing his bags on Friday night. So coming to you first, who do you have?
I've gone with Max Homa. This one is so clear to me. He either finds fairways or he doesn't. And his accuracy off the tee is in the perfect 50-50 sweet spot of whether it turns up or not. He has some really good accuracy off the tee showings and some absolute stinkers. His second shots are going to look very different depending on where he lands off the tee. His wedges and irons are fine for this track, and he won't have any problem putting. If he hits fairways, he's more than classy enough to contend outright, I think. If he's finding the rough early on day 1 and 2, I think he might just give up mentally and accept the miscut. No idea what we're going to get from Max Homa this week, but I think we will know very early.
Agree with Homa on that one. I chose Rickie Fowler, 38th. What is this? What is it with Rickie Fowler? It's like there's certain times of the year where he just falls apart. I don't know if it's the courses, the grass or whatever, but This guy has 3 top 10s in the last 11 weeks, yet he also has a 38th and 3 missed cuts. It's really weird with this guy. He finished 18th last year here. It just something doesn't make sense. It feels like Fowler does this every year where he throws us off the track. Like, oh, Fowler is back. And it's like, nope, no, he's not. So Rickie Fowler, nothing would surprise me this week. A true feast or famine. So we moved to head-to-heads. Did good on these. We had your boy Fitzpatrick over Young, and we had Robert McIntyre over Minwoo Lee. I was bummed you couldn't join because I was supporting your guy Matthew Fitzpatrick, and it was a good day for the Fitzpatrick boys. We are gonna every time they play, we're gonna have to do Alex or Matt.
Yeah.
That's becoming a real thing that's happening on the PGA.
They always
Tour.
seem to like finish one place between them as well. They're always right there. There's no margin of error with these two.
Nope. I'm going to go first because I like Max Homa this week. I think you're going to get a good finish, and I can get plus money over Tony Finau. The last 30 days, Homa's got a couple top 22 finishes, putting through the roof, plus 0.91 strokes gained, and he did finish 5th here last year. So I've seen him do it before. And Finau has not played here in over a decade. He was 55th last week. His putting's almost even, and that's just not going to get it done. So really surprised at plus money on Max Homa over Tony Finau. So I'll take that one. What do you got for a head-to-head?
I only have the one this week, but it's because I love this one so much. I'm going right to the top of the odds board. I'm going to take Ben Griffin over Chris Gotterup. Griffin just profiles as the more reliable week-to-week player. Every part of his game is solid right now. He's going to find fairways. His irons are always elite, and he's the best putter in the field. He's got 6 top 20s in his last 8 events, including top 20s at both majors. He's just more stable than Gotterup. He has fewer blowout rounds and better bogey avoidance. Gotterup obviously brings more raw power, and when he gets hot, he can absolutely hit birdies all day, but the volatility is still there. He's very wayward off the tee, and that's just not a thing you can afford to have this week, especially if the irons or putting are even slightly off, and Gotterup is more than capable of that. I just think he's going to have holes where he goes very wrong off the tee, and it costs him the next 3 or 4 holes making it back up. I prefer the floor and consistency of Griffin. He feels like the player more likely to simply just grind out 4 solid rounds.
Have to agree with that one. Yeah, Gotterup was on my fade list, so I agree with that one 100%. We move to top finishers. That's where we can pick top 10s, 20s, 40s. Did good on the show last week. We had Cantlay and Thomas, top 20, including ties. Both win. The including ties was what got us the win, so pretty happy with that. I'll go with Jackson Koivun, top 20, including ties. He finished 11th here last year. He plays as an amateur, but he just tears up the easy courses and tends to struggle on the real hard ones. But 23rd at the U.S. Open, that was a hidden little gem, nice little surprise seeing Jackson Koivun. One of the storylines, the underlying storylines, or not underlying, underground, is just how we don't have a lot of U.S. young players up and coming. Like, it's kind of bleak at this point, and so we're like, hey, some of these amateurs step up and start competing. Maybe our guys are getting a little older. So Jackson Koivun is a guy that the golf nerds, the American golf nerds, have circled as this guy's probably got some real potential. So field like this and a course like this, this guy can get it done. I'll take the top 20. What'd you find?
My first one is Christian Bezuidenhout, top 40, minus 125. He's one of these guys with no real length off the tee, but is just all accuracy. I trust him to find fairways every single time. He's one of the tidiest players on tour. He keeps mistakes to a minimum, has a really reliable short game, and when he's dialed in with a putter, he can climb leaderboards quickly. On a course where scoring is low, saving par when you do miss a green is a massive bonus, and Christian Bezuidenhout has been doing that on both tours his entire career. He just ticks the 2 big boxes of accuracy off the tee and accuracy with irons. And the kicker is he can actually putt. He finished runner-up here in 2022. I just think his all-round consistency makes this a really solid number. He doesn't need to contend to cash top 40. He just needs to play the steady, mistake-free golf, which is what his game is. A top 40 feels like a great fit this week, but don't be surprised if Christian Bezuidenhout is in contention on Sunday.
Absolutely fantastic pronunciation of the name. That one gets me every single time. So you have another one?
I do indeed.
Let's go for it.
I have Rico Hoey top 40 at minus 120. Hoey's biggest strength is his driving. He's actually quite long and aggressive, and when he's dialed in, he can absolutely take advantage of softer scoring setups like this one. But he's not just long, he's accurate. He's another one who I trust to find fairways consistently. The irons and wedges, they're solid enough, but the key for him is proximity. With his driving game, he's going to have a lot of mid and short shots into these greens and can really separate from the field there. The concern, once again, is the putter. He loses strokes most weeks, but I don't feel like this putting setup is going to hold him back like usual. And for, once again, a top 40 market, you don't need perfection anyway. He's come 11th and 26th on his 2 visits here. I really think this course suits him. And if Rico Ho drives it well, he should be around the top 40 all week.
All right, moving on to outright winners. I teased you guys, there's a 135-1. If you guys could, please hit the like button on the video, drop a comment, tell us who you like at the John Deere Classic. You know, I don't know why forever I just thought they played this in Texas. It just feels like John Deere and Texas go hand in hand, but they played in Illinois. I was talking to my buddy last night. I was like, am I the only one that thinks it's played in Texas? He's like, yep. You are. You're the only one. So yeah, drop a comment and tell us who you like. We got a lot of really good specials going on at WagerTalk. All the plays can be posted at wt.buzz/AL. We're running some really good specials. If you're watching this on Tuesday, this expires at midnight, but you can get all of our plays for the next 12 months in all sports for only $9.99. Comes down to about $2.70 per day. That's all of us handicappers, part of the team. It's an absolutely smoking deal. If you're looking for something a little bit more short-term, just go over to the specials page and look. And we've got some 3-day specials, some 30-day specials, multiple things like that. But if you've been interested in getting in long-term, now's the perfect time. So jump on board over at wt.buzz/AL. All right, I got 2 this week. Yann, I'll start with Tom Kim at 35-1. Are we starting to see signs of life from Tom Kim? 3rd and 15th, the last 2 tourneys. He's not that long off the tee, but his putting and approach have skyrocketed recently. I don't know if it was courses, but I don't know. See, this guy's shown he can play it at an elite level. He's got it in him. We just haven't seen it this year. But if ever there was a course to sneak a win, this would be it. So Tom Kim at 35-1 was my first one. Who'd you find?
Yeah, I've got 2 as well. Firstly, my outsider, I'm really sorry to outdo you here, but how about Fabian Gomez at 500-1? This is very much a boom or bust, but I think there's a lot to like here. Gomez doesn't overpower golf courses anymore, but he can still really get it done when conditions reward control and approach play. And he is one of the most accurate off the tee guys on the Corn Ferry Tour. His irons are the strength of his game. He can absolutely keep pace in Birdie Fest by giving himself a ton of looks. Once again, the issue's the putter. He might just leave a few strokes on the green, but I don't see why anyone struggles seriously on the greens this week. So I am going to overlook it. And if you do overlook it, you have someone who will hit fairways, and the best part of their game is iron and approach. He is a 2-time PGA Tour winner, albeit 10 years ago. I just see a world where he gets a hot 4 days where everything clicks at once. He's a pure long shot play, but if he finds anything close to the best iron play and finds anything with the putter, he's more than live to outrun a massive number.
Yeah, you did outdo me. I got 135-1. I got AJ Ewart, Canadian golfer. This is his first full year on PGA Tour. I didn't know much about him, but he won Q School in December, and good year. Like I'm looking at this guy, and I can't believe I haven't paid more attention to him. He's played in 15 tournaments this year, 5 top 20s, 17th at the Charles Schwab and CJ Cup. He finished 19th. His driving is awful, but this is a course where it really doesn't matter. Like seriously, he's not only is he short, he's also not accurate. But again, I don't think it matters at this one. But his last 2 tourneys on plus 1.28 putting and plus 0.55 approach. If I get those numbers, I get a guy at 135-1 that I think will be near the top of the leaderboard. So it's all about can your drive. His driving does it just needs to go from miserable to bad, and let the rest of the kid can you just be bad at driving, not like truly awful and pathetic. So that is my outright winner. Any more?
Yeah, one more. After Doug Kim being my most likely winner, it has to be Tom Kim. I just think you're looking at one of the most likely birdie scorers in this field. The iron play is still the backbone of Tom Kim's game. He's more than capable of taking advantage of wedges and irons, and when he's dialed in, he can go on those runs where he just makes 4, 5, 6 birdies in a row and just jumps up the leaderboard. If find fairways and find greens is the blueprint, give me Tom Kim. He has accuracy off the tee, he has the approach play, and he can make putts. He just needs to bring it all together. And like you say, it just feels like he's turned a bit of a corner. 3rd at the US Open and 15th in the Canadian Open in the last 2 outings are really, really good showings. And Tom Kim's at his peak, he was 13th in the world. If he's anything like that right now, he can easily win this event. He's still only 24, and a confident 24-year-old is a dangerous man. You just have to like the ceiling of Tom Kim this week.
Yeah, you and I saw the exact same things. Really surprised. I'm really stunned at the price. I mean, I know he hasn't given us a whole lot to stand on, but in this weak field, 35 to 1 is it's bonkers. So, all right, DraftKings Darlings. My lineup was pretty bad last week. There's no cut, but I just didn't get anybody that sniffed the win. So we said last week there's a big gap between the good and the bad, like on a course like that. And we just couldn't get anything going. So trying to get a cash this week, and I'll start with someone that you mentioned, Emiliano Grillo, 7,300. Runner-up here last year, runner-up in 2022, 4 straight made cuts, 20th and 23rd the last 2. His putting's been pretty good, plus 0.41 the last 30 days in those 2 tournaments. Very accurate off the tee, always helps. So we'll take Grillo at 7,300. Kevin Yu is also 7,300. He just loves playing here. I'm going to bank on course history here, 21st, 20th, and 6th the last 3 years. His putting hasn't been great, but driving and approach has been fantastic. So I'm really just banking on course history with him to make the cut. And then I'm calling him a darling because he's my third, least expensive guy. But Denny McCarthy at 8,200, I think is a really good fit here. 4 straight top 11 finishes here. He was 14th last week, and we all know that Denny McCarthy can be one of the hottest putters around, like Sam Burns, like just goes crazy with the putter. Plus 0.77 strokes gained on putting the last 3 months. It's incredible how good this guy is putting, and he does it every single year. So Denny McCarthy at 8,200 is going to be my third DraftKings darling. And as always, there's a free article up at WagerTalk.com. Just go to WagerTalk.com and click on news, and you'll see the article for the golf tournament this week with all the write-ups and everything. So I'll have more articles probably this week too. We've got NASCAR, no UFC, no PFL, but any sports that we cover, there'll be an article up there. Before we go, Yann, do you have any thoughts on these new rules that the PGA is going to do? Biggest one being relegation, which is pretty wild to me that they passed this. I'm surprised these guys signed up for it.
I mean, it's not surprising that they're going to take Liv's best elements. That doesn't surprise me at all. But yeah, I mean, for a tour that's gone all in on tradition, to change it and start doing things like that, I'm a bit concerned, I must say. But, Rory's the head of the PGA Tour. Whatever Rory says goes. Happy days.
I'm glad you didn't say that the best part of Live was playing music while the guys are playing.
Yeah,
because it's a little distracting from being at the Live event.
I think in 50 years, when I'm a properly old man, I will just look back on Tyrrell Hatton having meltdowns because a speaker is about 6 feet away from him, and he just can't concentrate.
I'm telling you, I've been to one Live event, and it was wild. It was unlike any golf experience you could possibly imagine. I had paratroopers land on the first fairway, just tearing it up. Like, just so funny, man. So, Live is going to be an interesting one in 20 or 30 years. Like, you remember Live? remember when they tried to do the Live thing? So, all right. Well, great show. Thanks, everyone. Like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. That way you get notified when our videos are posted. And we got a lot of World Cup videos that are up every day. We got individual game breakdowns. I do a same game parlay video every single day of the World Cup. So go check those out. And thanks for joining us. Good luck on your bets, and we'll see everyone next week on the Cut Line. Take care.